Hi, guys. We're here for another podcast with Ben. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about breathing exercise and the importance of breathing, not just for the training, but other ways that with your breathing can help in your life. No, but don't forget to subscribe, put a like on, let us know what you guys thinking, make a comment to make us channel grow. Right? Ben, Purple Belt training for him for how long already?
Almost 7 years.
7 years. I've been training, start for the beginners class.
Yes.
No? How was the beginners class was for you?
Life changing. Yeah, life changing for sure.
And then, like an old band, I have been studying for a long time about breathing exercise. Even we're going to talk later on and another one about the ice bath. But today is more about breathing exercise, how the learning how to breathe correctly can help in life. And then first, like just in general, like what's the some things that we kind of highlight, to learn how to breathe is important.
Yeah. One of the most important things that people need to know about breathing is your nose is the first thing. A lot of people actually breathe through their mouth, and breathing through your mouth is not the best approach to improving your breathing. So the nose is for breathing and the mouth is for eating. So that's one of the first things that's will help improve your breathing.
Mm-hmm. And then I know another way is sometimes people breathing, right? Breathing just more on the high part of the body, and then like we're always learning to use the lower part can help them as well.
That's a great point. In the U.S. culture, a lot of people want to be thin, and so they pull their stomach in tight to maintain their posture. And what happens is that doesn't allow them to take that breath low because they get stuck tight. So they start to use their upper chest, they use their neck muscles to breathe into their chest instead of using that diaphragm muscle to pull that breath down. So it's a very important point that when you're on the journey of learning about how to optimize your breathing, first the nose, and then second is the diaphragm, is getting that breath to come low into the core and then fill all the way around. So the breath, as it comes down, it actually goes into the pelvis. It goes into your hips. So your pelvic floor, which is at the bottom of the hips, is like another diaphragm. And what happens is as you're breathing, the pressure fills down into your hips and creates a lot of stability in your hips and your lower back. So people that use the upper breathing pattern are losing out on a lot of strength and stability that's created by breathing low. So taking that opportunity to practice breathing down into the pelvis, down into the belly, creates stronger lower backs and helps get people out of pain.
Mm-hmm. And then that help like for the digestion, all the other organs too, right?
Great point about the digestion.
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach, your intestines is like a snake, and it pushes your food through the tubes and works its way down. But another tool for digestion is actually the diaphragm. As you're breathing, you're helping pump pressure, and it helps to move the food and move the digestion through the body. So the breathing is super powerful for like cleansing the body.
Mm-hmm. Then like almost like we call like the baby breathing, right? Like they usually baby when they're born, they don't have this. I mean, just expand and all of that. And it's kind of a lot of people need to relearn to breathe, right?
Right. Yeah. The baby is like the purest form of like our human capacity. They are right from the beginning, God's gift of what life can be. And then through the modern culture, sitting in chairs, I have to work about my image. That starts to transform and take away from that initial natural capacity.
Mm-hmm. And then like now talk about this, like, how people usually like supposed to breathe. And then what is exercise, how they supposed to start relearning to breathe,
Yeah, one of the quickest ways is like becoming conscious of your breath. So like taking the opportunity to reflect on what it is you do. Like if you're driving to work, are you sitting at the red light, breathing with your mouth open? Like the first thing you gotta do is close your mouth and start practicing through your nose. Another one is taking the time to put your hand on your stomach and on your chest and breathe through your belly first, then your chest, and then up into the throat, and then relax. And then again, breathing to your belly and feeling from the bottom to the top and up. It's like when you have like a vase and you have your flowers in the vase. When you pour the water in, it fills from the bottom and comes all the way up. So for someone that wants to practice their breath work, first thing is observation, like making sure you're observing what you're doing. Then the second thing is just using your nose and then using your belly.
And then when a person kind of identify if how they breathing, what is like you recommend be maybe the first exercise or something that they can do to start improve and start recognizing getting better on the way they breathe, you know?
I would say is understanding the science behind breathing is like the next step. So you know that you need to use your nose. You know you need to use the proper mechanics, the belly breathing and filling up. But then the third piece is understanding the chemistry behind it. So how do you improve the chemistry, which makes massive improvements in your breathing health? And what that is your ability to control more CO2. So our breathing is two gases. We have oxygen and we have carbon dioxide. We breathe out carbon dioxide and we inhale oxygen. When you slow down your breathing and also restrict the size. So you can, when I mean size, it's like volume, like big breath and big exhale. Big breath in, big exhale. So I'm moving a lot of air in and out. When I do that, I blow off a lot of carbon dioxide.
Kind of clean up.
Yeah, I clean out a lot. But carbon dioxide, we want to capture. We actually want to keep it inside our blood because the carbon dioxide in our blood releases more oxygen off our blood into our cells. So if you blow off a lot of CO2, the red blood cells will hold the oxygen like a magnet. It will stick to the red blood cells and it will not be able to get to your cells. So breathing slower and less makes more CO2 in the blood, which then allows oxygen to release and feed our cells. So that's like the third piece is breathing through the nose, breathing mechanically proper, but then slow the biochemistry, slow and like and small volume. So we call that light, deep, and slow. We're like if we're training or just here, I can't hear you breathing. But some people, you hear them breathing. They're, yeah, exactly. And so their chemistry is off. They don't have a optimized chemistry. So the more you can slow down your breathing and make it silent, the more carbon dioxide you keep inside, which is actually helping you have better oxygenation, which is better for metabolism and all the other benefits of breathing.
Then like the what is the like the not quick, but the benefits they're gonna feel right away when they start breathing the proper way.
For sure, you're gonna lower your heart rate. You're gonna lower blood pressure. So most people go to the doctor, they gotta get blood pressure pills or their heart rate's too high. So improving the breathing is gonna lower blood pressure and lower heart rate. Those two things there is gonna change the psychology, right? Like there's less pressure inside, so their mind's gonna relax. So now they're gonna feel more relaxed during the day, less anxiety. So those things already are like massive improvements for people's life. You're gonna have more energy for sure, because now that we're fixing the biochemistry, you have more oxygen to give you more energy. So now you're gonna feel you have more energy during your day. Better sleep. You know, when you're sleeping, your body's metabolizing, your body's healing, your body's recovering. But if your breathing is improper during the most important time to fix yourself, then you're not getting the most recovery. So the breathing will improve your sleep so much better. You'll sleep deeper and have better recovery.
Yeah, you're learning how to breathe when you sleep. Now your body know what to do, and then you're gonna have you're gonna wake up better in the morning, right?
Yep. more refreshed, more energized,
Mhm.
less anxiety. So now you're not worried about, like, you just know what you need to get done during the day, less brain fog. So
What?
brain fog. Yeah, those are great things. And so with the mouth breathing, one of the little tips sometimes you could do is there's like a very gentle tape, and you can put it on your lips at night before you go to sleep, and it will force you to breathe through your nose through the night. And I think if you discover that you're a mouth breather, you should consider utilizing the mouth tape as a tool to retrain your breathing pattern. I was a mouth breather. When I became conscious of that, I was more able to fix it during the day. But like if you wake up in the morning and you have like drool on your pillow or your mouth is dry, then you're mouth breathing during the night. Those are some signs like, oh, I'm trying during the day, but during my night, I still breathe through my mouth. So I decided to tape my mouth. I did it for like 8 months. And I had so much better sleep because the chemistry is more optimal, right? Like the nose is like a tube. This is a big tube. So the balance, the ratio of air coming in is much better for the nose versus the mouth. So I use the mouth tape, and my sleep, the best deep sleep through the night. And then about 8 months, I was able to not wear the tape and just now be a nose breather.
Awesome.
Guys, one more time, don't forget to subscribe, put a like, make a comment, like your stuff. Maybe you want to know more about this breathing exercise. Make sure you send to us, you can maybe do another one with Ben. But, try to help us to grow. Let's keep going. Ben, about now different ways or different methods to breathing and what you use maybe for training, like we do jiu-jitsu, what the best way that we can use during the training or before training or after training. What your
Well, I think one of the biggest tools for athletes that want to improve their performance, especially in jiu-jitsu, is doing breath holds. So the way I can describe it is like going like snorkeling or like you're free diving in the ocean, like swimming, looking around at the fish, but we're doing it while we're training. So like if you're on the cardio bike and you're pumping your cardio, like maybe for 5 seconds while you're doing your exercise, you hold your breath. And what that does is that builds that carbon dioxide quick inside your blood and makes your body not get oxygen. So you start to panic a little bit. You're, oh, I'm not able to breathe, but I'm training. And then you recover. And then as you recover, your body starts to learn, oh, I can push myself hard on the breath hold. And then my heart rate comes up and then I can recover. And then you make that as part of your routine. So if you, as an athlete, jiu-jitsu, you're like, I got to do 30 minutes of cardio or whatever it is on the bike, or if you like to run, in between that 30 minutes, maybe like at the 5-minute mark and then 10-minute mark and 15. So you're going to have like six sections in the 30 minutes. You're going to add in some very strong breath holds. Like you're just going to hold your breath as long as you can. So it pushes you, but then you only hold as long as you can that you can recover quickly and continue to work, right? Like, yeah, it's taking you to your edge, but you're also able to recover. And then you get back to your normal level and you keep going for the next 5 minutes and then add another breath hold. What will happen is your body's going to get more tolerance, more used to that intense CO2 buildup. And then as an athlete, that makes huge improvements to add in these intermittent hypoxia training. So it's adding in restriction of oxygen, builds up that carbon dioxide, and it's game changer.
It's got pretty much like a lot of times when we're training, like maybe one position, we fight for that position, and then you come back, like now it's time to get control, and then but now we get used to that, difference between the training, intensity during the training as well.
Exactly, because during the training, the match or the roll, like there's moments where it's super high intensity. You're trying to get on top, trying to get the position, so you got to work harder. But then once you get there and you can get some control, you got to recover. You got to get that breath. So doing this kind of style of breath work in training helps really, it goes really well with the jiu-jitsu for sure.
And then now more like, like we talk about training now on the competition. What kind of maybe breath exercise you kind of recommend before, prior, maybe even days before, during the day of the tournament? What are kind of
So about an hour and a half before the tournament, I'll go to a quiet place. I'll put on my headphones and I'll do the voluntary hyperventilation, or some people call it superventilation. It's powerful breathing. And I do about 3 minutes of that, and that will lower CO2. So it will take it out. And then I hold my breath as long as possible. Maybe it's a minute and a half, maybe a minute 45, maybe up to 2 minutes. And what happens is your spleen holds blood. It's like a place where it gets rid of old blood and makes new blood. And when you hold your breath, maximal effort, your body will squeeze. It's a contraction, and it will squeeze out a little of that blood and add it to your body. And you could do 5 or 6 of those spleen contractions, and it will add an extra 8-ounce soda can of blood back into your body as a way to bring more oxygen to your body, because you've been holding your breath, right? So your body's like, hey, I need more oxygen. So your body's like, okay, I'll give you more oxygen. Squeeze.
I have a little reserve.
I have a little reserve of blood. So it will squeeze it in. And then you do that 5 times. You squeeze out all that blood. And now your body's supercharged with more blood, more power, more oxygen. So I do that about an hour and a half before the tournament mat time. And then as I get closer to actual mat time, like 15 minutes, like I know I have to be in the bull ring ready to go. I'm normally finding a little place I can jog, and I want to add CO2 back to my blood now. You know, before I was really pulling it out, now I want to add it in so that the extra blood that I squeezed in is going to release that oxygen. So I'm jogging, I'm doing little breath holds. I like to count like 5 steps. You know, I hold my breath and I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I get back into my breathing, recover, and then I go around and then I do it again. I do 10 minutes of that to get a lot of CO2 in my body, and then I go down to the bull ring. I'm set. I release the adrenaline from before. I got my CO2 up. I'm ready to go.
Awesome. And then during the match, like you do something different between one match to the next?
Yeah, that's a good question. When I'm in between mats, it's more like just getting recovered, slowing down the breathing, thinking about the mistakes I made. What do I got to do for the next one? But yeah, being slow with the breath, you know, even some breath holds if I wanted to be real technical about like, hey, I got to get my CO2 back up. I got to get that blood flow ready to release oxygen. You can add that in for sure.
And anything after, because you know, like when you go competing, a lot of times you hold a lot of like stuff in your blood. You do something after to clean up, or to, you know.
Yeah, I think in the past I've used more of the super ventilation, like the deep breathing, as a way to like process, you know, because there's so much adrenaline from that 5 fights of the tournament. Maybe you lost, maybe you won. So there's just a lot of emotion that's like you just went through a lot of battle.
Even the fight, like you're holding stuff in your muscle too to kind of release.
So I think that the deep breathing after the session to just like cleanse and let go of tension is good for sure.
Then know how people come to the gym the first time, like all the anxiety, they don't know what they're gonna find out, they don't understand, is that what they're gonna come to? What maybe like a pre-training or during when they hear what kind of breath workout or breath they can try kind of take the anxious out and be more calm to
Yeah, that's a great question. What I've noticed is that a lot of new jiu-jitsu people, white belts, they just started their journey. They come in and they're very tense. They want to squeeze the guy. They want to hold. They want to control. And when they do that, they stop breathing. So they lock everything. They squeeze everything, including their breath. So one of the tips that I recommend for someone that's just starting their jiu-jitsu journey and they're on the mat, they're in their gi, they're doing the drills with their partner, is take time to focus on the breath. You know, if you're squeezing too hard, you're not doing the technique correctly. So it's important that they start to relax a lot more and use the breath as a relaxer. You know, the exhale is where the body relaxes. So if you're just starting your jiu-jitsu journey and you want to help your body relax more, take time to do some deep exhales. Let it go. And with that let go, think about what you're doing. Like if you're working too hard, it's just not the right technique.
Yeah, like a lot of times when I teach, and it's not just for white belt. We know a lot of other people do the same. And then I always say, when you do the movements, talk what you're doing. And then you're gonna hear how you're gonna talk with yourself. So, oh, put my hand here. If you say, put my hand here, and then you know you hold your breath. And it's kind of when you do the movement or when the other person cheat, like you start talking when you do, because now you can hear, oh, put my hand here. Now my shoulders here. Now you can see like you're more relaxed, not too tense.
Yeah. I love that. When I learned from Master, he always has the specific steps he's talking. One knee in, one knee out. This knee up, this knee down. Grab here, grab there. Right. So I sing it like a song. So when I teach it to myself or when I teach the newer belts, I'm like, this is a song that Master taught me. And the song goes like this: one knee in, one knee out. And the thing is, that's a great point. I never thought about. Like if I start singing this song really fast and really tight, then the song's not smooth like it's supposed to be. So I really like that.
Yeah, because like I know it's a lot, even like the high level belts, like they start doing, like they put it and then they hold and then it's like it's about like breathing and learning how to use your body, not kind of squeezing, but no using the leverage.
Yeah, and breathing. So with jujitsu, the one thing I noticed is that you can have very high level jujitsu black belt, but the breathing is not black belt level. And so I feel like as a practitioner, that's the next level. Like, you know, your jujitsu, you've been doing it for 15 years, whatever. That's that, and it shows. There's nothing. I'm not taking anything away from your skill as jujitsu, but now there's other things to uncover, and other things to level up in, and the breath is for sure another tool. It's like your car, you know, like you can hear the RPM, like ring, 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 ring. It gets too fast. So when I'm rolling with people, I can hear the engine. Is the engine is it working too hard or is it yeah, that's. And then for me, my car is just really low, just waiting. So I think that's the next level, not just for white belts, tips, but for every level belt. The you know, jiu-jitsu is about evolution and improving in all their aspects. And you bring up a lot about like how jiu-jitsu improves outside of life. And you know, another tool you can add to help improve your life on the mat and outside the mat is the breath.
Awesome. Yes. You know, I feel like it's a good thing because like a lot of people don't think about the breathing exercise or the way they breathe during the training or like for life too. No, I think it's a super important point. Like, you know, like now it's kind of the way we teach the white belts, like teach, you know, people going to start over again how to proper breathing.
Yeah, for sure. It's one of those tools that like when you finally get it figured out and you become a black belt in breathing, that brings so much benefit, physical, mental, and spiritual.
Awesome. Then where we can find you or something that people maybe want to know more about each, like ways to like systems or stops your breathing, what they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on my website, benpelton.com. I'm on Instagram as well. I'm sure Master will link my information. Peltonplan. I'm a Oxygen Advantage advanced instructor, so I teach the Buteco method, which is how to improve CO2 tolerance and breath hold training. And then I'm also a Wim Hof instructor, so I use Wim Hof's superventilation breathing to help people lower inflammation and improve stress management.
All right. Guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, sign up, make a comment. If you want to see something else on the whatever we talk here today, just send us a comment, you know, that we can put the questions right there. Maybe we can have him again to talk to you and give you more feedbacks and more stuff for you. Right? See you soon. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
Awesome.